Hi friends, Fred Arnold with Entrepreneur Success Stories with 360 Suites. I'm with my good friend Selina Thomas. Selina Thomas is the founder and CEO of 6Degrees Consulting and 12 years in the business. Congratulations.
Yeah. And I did my tenure here. It was a privilege to be able to be in a new space. This location had just opened up and I knew I wanted to be part of 360. This is like a flagship center of business.
Thank you.
Getting into 10 years, I was like, okay, we're going to be going next level. And so why not do that here?
Thank you. Thank you. And she handles our 360 Suites HR.
Absolutely.
So we put our money where our mouth is because we use you. But I wanted to highlight your success as an entrepreneur. But just real briefly, president or chair of the Viet Valley Industry Association in Santa Cruz Valley, right?
Yeah, I'm the previous past chair. So I just...
You just finished your second year.
I just finished my second year, and now I am vice chair for PHR, our chapter here, our Santa Cruz Valley chapter, which you hosted us this past week for the HR law updates with Brian Kegley.
Yep.
So, I kind of, continued to evolve and wanted to really focus on the HR component.
Kind of as a leader, and I want to talk about that because I want to talk about leadership and, kind of what it means to you and what are... we talked about the 5, and I want you to share that with those that are watching online or listening online. The 5 keys to your success. You can't be in it for the short term, right?
No.
The long game.
You have to think long game. And I knew when I started my company at a Starbucks on Copper Hill and Seiko that I had to not just think long game, but I had to think globally, which is why I named the company 6 Degrees HR Consulting.
So why?
That's because we are all connected globally by 6 people.
Yeah.
If you think about that in the context of Santa Clarita, the surrounding valleys, it's 1 to 2 to 3 degrees. Mm-hmm. So it's very quickly that we figure out that we're all connected. But then when you're in business, that's very meaningful. And you'll get to that in one of the top 5s is that you have to build relationships.
Yeah. And you're very good at that. Number 2, you talked about, and it's one of those things as an Ironman athlete, that it's the boring, it's the doing it over and over again. But you talk about consistency.
You have to be consistent. And it's funny, if you ever remember, and I'm aging myself, but it is a true adage that consistency pays off. So if you ever watch the show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, every day he came in, did the same kind of routine, took his day shoes off, put his house shoes on, took his sweater off, put his house coat on. I am literally like the female Mr. Rogers. Like I do the same thing every day. And if anyone circles back, but we're very similar in that because we do the same thing every day and we see each other in passing while we're doing it.
Yep.
I get here early, you're just working out, we're getting started.
That book, Atomic Habits, they talk about, consistency, but they talk about habit stacking.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I started to habit stack when I drive from the gym to the office is 2 things. I listen to a podcast that's really short, 6-7 minutes on what's going on in the market, what's going on with interest rates. And then I habit stack 1 or 2 phone calls to a client that I've done business with in the past. Every single day. Now, if you think about that and you go 20 days, 200 days a year, that's 200 calls you might not have made.
Right.
So let's talk about that. The habits you have every day.
The consistency looks different for everyone, right? Like I always have this either beginning of my day or end of the day where you see me on the Santa Cruz stairs. And I'm like, there's no excuse.
Now those are at Central Park, right?
At Central Park. If anyone follows me, they always see my HR kind of tidbits, and then they always see me doing the stairs. Yeah. And it is just kind of reflective of those habits that not just frame my day, but structure and ground my day. Yeah. And that's how I'm able to be consistent with my clients. There's a continuity. If anyone Googles 6 Degrees HR Consulting and reads the reviews, it's the messaging is the same. Different people, different industries, but it's because of consistency. And that is brand now. That's part of the brand, and that's
it's hard for entrepreneurs to do because they get so sidetracked and one thing that I will share is we all have a time of the day that we work best at whatever that is.
Right.
End of the day, I'm not going to the gym. Yeah. Like I just stay in that. But for some people, morning time's not.
Yeah.
It's knowing when it is, and I always like the by noon effect.
Yeah.
which is, can you get the hard stuff done by
Heavy
noon?
lifting by noon.
Because the rest of the day is going to take you everywhere.
Coast.
Yeah.
And then that's where you get to, similarly to that, that's where you get to build in some of those networking things. Yep. Just saw you speak 2 days ago at the VIA event, and that was for lunch.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And it allows me to build in all those other things that help me grow.
Yeah, build your business. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This one I love, and if you're gonna fail forward.
Fall forward.
And what comes with that to me is making a decision to do it and not getting stuck. You hit a fork in the road, take one way or the other.
Yeah, and it looks different for everyone, right? For me, it when COVID happened, for a lot of people, like there's those things that you can't control that happen, and that's why I say anticipate that there's going to be challenges. And they could be self-inflicted because we made a bad business decision, or they could be things that we have no idea. It came out of nowhere, and that's what happened to all of us. But I think if I hadn't anticipated, I would not have been able to pivot. Because that's actually the year 2019 is when I actually started doing videos and that became part of
and you became comfortable with it.
I became comfortable with it.
And it's interesting because I talk about this with a lot of individuals. If you're doing business and you love what you do, why wouldn't you share that gift with the world?
Yeah.
And so I always say, take pictures or
do
post
videos.
Or do videos or whatever it is and share it with the world. But and I'll share and I'll be authentic on one thing. I didn't like doing videos at one point in my life. I enjoy speaking to individuals, but we're at this distance. And when I got this distance, I had a really bad cycling accident 10 years ago this year.
Wow.
And my face got really injured and just figured, I guess, right above my lip. And it always bothered me until someone says, that's kind of what you look like. Okay, Fred? So just get over it and go. Yeah. And it was one of those psychological things for someone that likes to get out there. It still affected me. So can you imagine someone that thinks, is my hair right?
Yeah.
Do I have the right jacket on? Do I have the right shirt on?
My hair right. I mean, it's a lot.
And I get that.
Yeah.
And you're not always going to be perfect, but when you're out there, you're not always perfect anyways.
Right. And I think that's where the authenticity part begins to, like, people can count that consistency, but then the authenticity is part of that.
Yep.
And people, when they meet me, they say, you are absolutely how you are on video. And I appreciate that because there's no kind of caricature of me. Like, this is why we don't have people that do our social media. We do it ourselves.
Yeah. Because it's your authentic self.
Absolutely.
I do want to mention something when it comes to you talk about anticipate mistakes. I almost want to have a B.
Yeah.
And the B is own it and course correct. Don't be so
learn from it.
Don't be so stuck on the decision you made that it's the wrong. The problem is when we're growing up, you hear this, I told you so.
Yeah.
You know what?
Throw that out. It's character shaping.
You got to throw it out because you get that one person. I told you so, and you're just like, oh.
And they get to live in it for that reason. That's kind of self-serving.
And they're living in it for the rest in your head.
Yeah.
And
that's self-serving for them, but it doesn't serve you.
No, it doesn't. To hold on to that,
we get to own it, learn from it, and allow it to be character shaping. And that's, we get to give permission differently as parents now, whereas a different generation, it was just it weighed on you in a different way.
Yeah.
And so and I the same advice that I share with anyone that I'm working with client-wise, I share with my daughters.
Yeah. 100%.
And I have a daughter that's a business owner, Maddie the dog maven.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And she's a VIA member and has 3.5
Following
years
your footsteps,
now, and found her passion, found the thing, and building her own business. So I'm really excited for her.
That's great. Well, especially when we see the ones we mentor or the ones we raise, see them really blossom.
Yeah.
Build relationships. You're fantastic about that.
Yeah. Try to be,
I mean, you've done that through the Valley Industry Association.
Yeah.
Yep. That's been one of your avenues.
Initiatives that, like, really I had to model too, right? That it is a part of connecting people. When you use the premise of 6 Degrees, meaning we're all connected, and you activate it, it really becomes tangible. And I think that's what's allowed me to be able to connect way beyond what I do for a living business-wise. We get to connect to community, and that's very important to me.
Yeah, I think that's
you got to pay it forward.
And you mentioned that because you're connecting to. Why not? I mean, you're here for 8, 9, 10 hours as entrepreneurs. Why not network? Because successful people want you to be successful.
Yes.
So why not network with successful people?
Yeah.
So
and pay it forward. I think a lot of what we do when we're not activated in business, we're activated in community, which is why we've always gotten along so well. And the people that we surround ourselves with are the same way. And I think always connecting to people that are like-minded, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And last but not least, be good or I want to say excellence, because I'm going to ask you a few questions when we're right before we're done about excellence. But be excellent in what you do.
Yeah. You are good at what you do. I know that to be a fact.
Thank you.
This building, not just the logistics of it and the aesthetics of it, it brings a different energy. It's a business hub for our community. You're good at that. I'm good at HR.
I learned that because I came to you within the last year and says, we're starting to get to be a big company. It's time that we take the training wheels off, and will you guide us? And it was interesting because there was the A, B, C, D, and E that you told us to do and implement. But there's also a place when we have to hire an attorney. There's also a place when it's a step even above that. So I was so happy that you were excellent at what you do. And you actually, one of the things you did is you run that nonprofit, right? You're a vice chair, right? I believe. To tell us about that and how that kind of, you bring people in to get better at what you do.
Yeah. So PHR, it's professionals in human resources specifically. Again, another way to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with people that have, being industry leaders means you have to surround yourself with other industry leaders. And so this means attorneys in employment law. This means other practitioners. This means practitioners that are learning. That's what we had, a collective of.
The place was packed.
It was,
on a rainy day.
On a rainy day. And so that being said, every year we're required to get continuing education units, and Brian Kegley's updates afforded all of us to know what's in the pipeline, know what we currently have to do, but it also activates in my practice. So it served three different purposes, right? We're getting to network and see who's in the industry, who our partners are in the community, who we can count on in the community in this lane, because we're supporting the businesses. And when the businesses are sound, the communities are sound.
That's right.
I mean, it all connects. And so when people hear that and understand that there is real purpose in everything they do, then they feel better about that aspect of their company. So you were so kind to say, hey, it's time to activate HR in my company. I want to kind of put some distance between me and some of those processes, and I want to count on an industry leader to do it. And it was easy. You have a great team. It was a matter of just putting all the things that you already do in a real infrastructure. And
clean up some things maybe we weren't doing or that we didn't know we needed to do.
And sometimes it's what you don't know. That's what gets you.
What you don't know, when you don't know that you don't know, you can really get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. So, I'm grateful to count you as not just a friend, but a client.
Yeah, I love that. Here's I ask everybody this that comes on the show.
Yes.
And it is, when I say the word success, what does it mean to you?
Yeah. So it's definitely not the monetary side, because if you're doing things right and you're working and what your purpose is, you never have to work a day in your life, right? Because that part will come. I think success for me is being able to be in a position to be sustainable, not just for myself, but my kids, and to build legacy in this industry and with my company. I built a company from Starbucks. I've been afforded to be able to buy my own home as a self-employed person. That's not easy to do.
No.
Somebody in the business.
All the rules were made by those in Washington, D.C. that weren't friendly towards, in my opinion, self-employed entrepreneurs. Yeah.
So I was able to accomplish that and leave. And your conversation the other day at Via's lunch spoke to that, leaving that legacy, that family home, and also modeling to our kids how to build their own. So I've taught my girls how to fish, and I think that's what is success for me, is that I'm sustainable, and I've created a sustainable life for them, and that it is always connected to the ecosystem of the community.
Yeah.
It gives back. There's nothing that we're taking from anyone, and I feel really good about it.
Well, if you make enough deposits into everybody's accounts. And what I mean by that is
you pour into them.
Yeah, you pour into them, whatever that means,
Yeah.
kindness,
Yeah.
help them with their business,
Yeah.
posting something about their company,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
And I have to say, you extend your facilities to many, many nonprofits here, via especially our Pyra group, and just allowing a safe place for people to bring whatever that is.
Mhm.
And I think not a lot of people do that without there being some exchange, some
Yeah.
reciprocity, right? And that for you is like, no, please, by all means. And this is why I think you're successful.
Thank you. And I think I'm selfish in that it makes me feel good
Oh,
to
there
give
you
back,
go.
you know. And
Yeah.
I was talking to my son one day and he goes,
Yeah.
well, Dad, when you give, you're kind of being selfish. I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, does it make you feel good? I go, yeah. He goes, well, then you're
There
kind
you
of doing
go.
it for yourself, right? It was really an interesting
Yeah.
spin
Yeah.
on giving.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyhow, we do things for the right reasons. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're not going to ask you how many hours you worked and how much
Right.
money you saved, but they're going to maybe ask you what legacy do you feel you left behind.
And people
And-
always remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And you always make people feel good,
Yeah.
Fred.
But I'm
And
still learning
Yeah.
because sometimes
Yeah.
you get busy
Yeah.
and you got to say, look, I've got to run over there. Can we connect in a little bit? Because
Mhm.
sometimes as entrepreneurs, and I'm still learning
Yeah.
that. I'm still learning.
And that's a lot of humility, right?
Yeah.
Is to say that we've been doing this for quite some time,
Right.
been friends for a long time, and that we're still evolving. And that I think is really important for people to embrace. Like, what am I going to do this year? You had Ken Keller
Oh, yeah.
giving, and right here in our building, giving some insight to people that have already been established, but still could learn new ways to continue to build their company.
To build their companies and
Yeah.
build their legacy and,
Yeah.
and build what they want to do. Because
Yeah.
you do something for 40 years at 8 to 10 hours a day. Yeah, we want those that want to reach out to
Yeah.
you, Selina, how can they get
Absolutely.
you?
Well, I am here at 360 Suites, so I'm super.
You are downstairs. Go
Every
left.
day, go left. When you come in, I'm the first office on the left. But I'm also online, 6degreeshrconsulting.com. And then I'm every day on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn.
You are.
So you will not miss me there. If you just Google Selina Thomas or 6 Degrees, you'll find me.
Excellent. Thank you for
so
coming in.
much. I appreciate it.
Yep, I hope you enjoyed this success stories of entrepreneurs at 360 Suites. I'm your host, Fred Arnold, and we'll see you next time.